And I say Obia Esre, Bema, this conversation is for you, married couple, and I say married cry, and then person was straight because I'm for far a problem with the issues be no eba, especially in this part of the world. Me the Walking Egg Medical and Fertility Center. But the fertility is I want some and I become it say and then the may adom ama omaji ubi awo in crowd 4 and a PM. Now and just about in crowd 4 every day be I want crowd 4 baby. But process no out go through no in crowd 4 no it's me by a transfer so and a money one me pese ye di ye ho enkomo. People have tried that particular process several. I remember when I went to Australia in July, I met this one lady all drive me around. They didn't come more issues and all catching about now. And I walk home. I was IV and so many times. I'm far. We did this, we did that and that. I said no. I want a man for who is sir. No, a man for. I want a man for who is a man for who is sir. Until me say, I say, the Walking Egg Medical and Fertility Center. My IUI are in quite 4 opinions no. My brother doc any combines doc Ajime Fesopa Doctor Nana was say our anybody so usual the name hasn't changed. It is Zionfelix. Doc, thank you very much. Happy New Year.
Many happy returns.
And congratulations for your NS so.
Yeah, that's the papa.
After that year pa.
Yes, some kid cry. Yes, that need
But I mean is it can you on that note can you drag somebody out for her to get to that point say okay time me person on and I say naturally do also by force of
say you obinyemo you expected date of delivery we can say that is the ultimate and I say no na e pass e nya ya enka obedu ho na no che say abofra no unim say na pomudin ne sa nyoma no se bi be touch makrampo a kitu bi na so na to de bi na yinse mu no ye hwe nia ekoso wo nyinse ni mu no ye dikan na ye hwe kwalado do a oba na nyimo a na ye ka se ye twema edu the ideal ye be a 40 weeks na ye expected na wan hwe ya onia obenya no ompe
okay
and ye ba na sande na ye ankasa ye program so that say ye be yi mofra no
okay
and no wo ho say wan ankasa so to me hihye and the way no onyim ya na ya hihye say that say ye be yi no
okay look and it was say we can I be the kita man for no so omo pay money timi abon but briefly let's look at Dr. Nana ya was say who you are, how long you've been practicing ejuma ya we.
All right intino Nana ya was say said ya woni no me my PhD in guidance and counseling me di kan no toso me no so makọ na mpese me specialize on fertility counseling ye nisa school no ha anase sa akonya no anti na ze me call ewiase afaman ba bia omo yes ade na me call ben me ho ti makọ UK, Belgium, Portugal ne America sa ne mani nyina just to make sure say me nyasa abodin no me see mo acha kakra we can say amanyamani di na yenu ye Jumay 2012 na me see mo me ni ebi mo ye juma kopem say nyame adom the year 2018 ye ankasa ye established the Walking Egg Medical and Fertility Center nyame na mosoma enei yetumi enya nkwala enan efi IUI no mo nia eye manage ne say efi IUI treatment no egu ahodo se oba eba ayasoye se opeba ana impo fertility center bia ye wo mu ahodo be ya miensa so me edi kan ya bon IUI aye intrauterine insemination eno ne tia ne se ebia na oha ketrue bi na wo ho ntia no uyi obama no ne fe no semen na eye suo no na wa hohuru mu na ohuru suo no na wo dia Sperm wo mo say wa sone so kan sa nia oni oba ahia uhu no enya no na ye Sperm no ntia no dia ye fe no semen ye nsuo no mu ena Sperm na nkasa wo enti say watue enkwan de asifam na unu mu se unu mu a unhu se nam wo sa pepepe na tie nti ye fa ne se semen ne nkwan no ndi se ye je semen na se ye num ne ye kwa hwe nam no ne ye de ye adwuma no nti no ye yi a na sperm na wo mu no ye de ahye oba na se very simple process na nyame adomo a obanyem to de bia otie yi a ba ko na anye onyi sen ba to de bi so ahye se waya no kwasem ni akonya so obi banyem no e wo fam your friend success rate no e wo fam and the fertility centers were Ghana ni baby bebre mpo a omojaye IUI no but nyame adom e wa say the Walking Egg Medical and Fertility Center and no ne yade kase pa so a because a boy bebre say the amonim na nyame adom na so manti no IVF no de minim say Ghana hakra no me kai center ba ko mi ni bia omanya and 9 pony abrosa efi IVF no mo but it's about IUI say a 9 parfi IUI na afi na me yehwem but me kan kamani na je say me shedan kai center bia enya nkwala and 9 efi IUI no na ne ma no e dance kakra say nyame adom onam yeso ayesa.
Now we come and talk more about IUI but briefly talk to us about IVF.
Okay. Now IVF no dear unlike IUI na ano no unyi oba no nkosua ma bonti and one say waje be ma no ne nkwamwa no na odi ahye oba no ase no IVF no de obe yi oba no nkosua no akolab waje ne partner no sperm akoka ho aye mofra no ne fe no embryo no uwia ansana odi akoto awodie no aha nso so ne demo ano no say IUI no de unyi oba no nkosua ne ma bonti na mom IVF no we nkosua no eba bonte no fertilize outside the body system. Your IVF no so ne nua pain and say the other one who I friend no Gh1000 intracytoplasmic sperm injection. I don't know here you want to say IVF no. But so see dem ni you find say owo dish bit say na ye mie so nti no with IVF no se unya nkosua na odi goodish na wonya sperm na odi eguso na wabu aso na wahwe se sperm na nkasa be fertilize nkosua no se sperm na ho odi wo fem pa se adwumadie intumi nye fertilization cannot take place and I don't know sa no doctor no ankasa na se embryologist no ebe yi nkosua no ni wa yi nkwamwa no na wa inject nkwamwa no into the egg and your friend Gh1000 intracytoplasmic sperm injection ya ka bia no eye adwuma te say IVF na kasa ndi no ne treatment miensa ye tai eye ewo ya so ye enpo ene good fertility center bia ewo oman no
doc nti ye ba Walking Egg Medical facility ase ya
yeah
then na mo ye wa ha say ties then na mo use wa
all right apart from niama boboso imiensa na ye no ye san ye ne fe no surrogacy now surrogacy no actually say oba ontumi enyim simple terms na oba afoforo ebenyim ama enti ne wo mu krampo ni say ebetumi ama say wo ye young so we di be ye video no 2025 so awodi asay obi a wanya 40 years betumi anyem di ama
wow
me kasa because na senya mu menya abayo bi e ba me hono mu a 29 years lady na obaye na che say wa ye fibroid mako and 9 sa time obaye no krabo na asan afifi bie mu a said ye tie na so san ye bie na nti no eno no sa no wo kwa wodie no ba ne ade nyina no na emma awodie na hoɔden no ekɔfam kakra nti no sa kwanya no wɔ hɔ a na ne wo yɛ surrogates no ma obi enyem ade ma wo a na ɛno so no watumi ayɛ na ɛno no yɛ wo mu ahodoro mienu yɛ wɔ ne friend no traditional surrogacy a ɛkyɛ sɛ onipa ɔbɛnyem de ama wo no yɛ yusu ɔno anankosua nti ɛno no saa no kyɛ sɛ surrogate nankasa nkosua ne yisu a all contribute to abofra no to ye DNA abofra ne DNA na obehu se ne ba ni maame ne surrogate no ene ye wo gestational surrogacy a eno ne de unyusu maame no a surrogate no nkosua ebetumi aba sɛ nia ɔwɔ ama no nkosua ɛna obeyisu anase obi foforo de donor egg na the partner no so sperm no ahodi wo mu a na wo de no no ayɛ aka ho de ayɛ anase sɛ obepɛ donor sperm so a na wo de aka ho de ayɛ so basically enioma enan titiw pa na yenim sɛ ye wo ho se ye IUI IVF ICSI and surrogates is about awo mo dia eye hospitals so dia and a clinic is so dia na je say other forms of yare nyina so no oba ye hwe aje say bia na ebro ye so a ye be refer e de akọ baby foforo.
Now at what point does one have to undergo the IUI no muyebi?
All right, and no wo ho ma ehwehwemu se akoba ne se ope ba ana se awo no emma na opese utru anamo enye bia wo ba wo ba no obeba ana be ma no obeba yese ntasuo guan so enante se be enye oba nko ana ewo ena enye be ma so guan na ewo oba obehia be ma ne na saa so na be ma so behia oba ne na wo ntino se mo ba ne ye hwehwemu ana obi so ho no oba se obi a na say nia eba no oba bi ho betumi aba ka se mini partner biara mini ko mini boy mini obia ntino e bia mo pedo na ma meniam hia ne se menya eba no ntino se no saa so dia na je se ya ye hwehwemu na ahwe se oba no wawode no etiapo fibroid bi wo ma na se eni fibroid bi wo mu a etesen fibroid no what is the impact of the fibroid on the endometrium ya endometrium no da awodie no mu a eno na so ba bia nyemu a echi abofra no aha ntino se eno soso ehu aka wa awodie no mu a ebe den se oba obetumi anya misi ye saa hwehwemu ni nyina efa oba no awodie no fallopian tubes no ene onkosua na ho oden na be ma nso ya hwe onkwamwa no ni nyina krabata ni nyina kire se enye count no ko a etori bia na mema ne bi mu di dwom anum se o mejoso kra na so ba betra obotra obanyem na no ya ka je se ni nkwamwa no sperm count no edoso enye sa na tie in my practice me hu mema they have all the count in this world now so dodro no wo ho the sperm count was ahoden ewo mu no esha asa kofo so ebe de se obetumi ahye oba nyisen ye fe no motility edi ye behwe eno so ne ya hwe morphology motility no akoye te se otoka se wo hia petro so edi be maka na etu anamo ntino sperm count no be ye ka no na wo mu ne ebe ma no etu anamo akon any motility no any petro no and they say ye hwe se eno so no petro no se be ye fa asuo mfremu ana se eye bibi foforo deze bi enkofrae na emma na hoode no so enti na fensi ya hwe morphology of the sperm morphology ni say sperm no na bosu said ye sperm bia wo eti baako enan baako but ebi ho ma na wo abnormal forms ebia eti mienu oni nan ne sai ne mani nyina ndi no ye hwe we nyina na ehu se ebia momodie no moye IUI na beboa mo moye IVF na beboa mo moye ICSI na beboa mo anase mo ma obi nyem de mamo a eye surrogates na eno ene adea abeboa mo minim se eye ana ebinom nititru ye religious organizations no se ba ebinom eba donor sperm donor egg ene nititru surrogates so obi anyem ade ama obi a eno no na eya ebi mo twetwe mo kakra ebi mo kasetia but Zion me Kristo ni ma papa de bia me ankasa meka kire me ho se me manko heaven a obie ni wiase obekọ no se nyese me ntiase se me nana ya o se manko heaven a obie ni wiase a obekọ heaven because me mbu obia se otene echeme wasase so that is my philosophy because me ye o Kristo ni na me sha masum nyame no kware mu nso pa mene asofo anante ekukudam ne enketro anante minimo bie suban I have my weakness you know as a human being but my co heaven obie ni ho be co heaven That is my philosophy. And that's what I believe in. Enti minya adwuma na esese anase minya ediye se minya sa adwuma na esese mede ediye na menya no mede toto osom ne megidie ho ehwe se ade a me baba ye na etene ansana na ya me a lot of studies into the Bible and the Quran. Me kan Quran not to say the American Bible say eba awo ho a ehwemo a me ye nya. The bottom line is me hu say we nyina etia twro konkon na me megidie no. Nienti etisa ne say eba donor sperm ni donor egg. Zion say oje blood transfusion di. Ha ukọ hospital na say say
so twumojama.
Ya twumojama ojidi. Mano da sumra so na say o kidney ho aka ese obi ma o kidney obaje na wonje.
Maje.
Saasusu na ye wo mmema bi wo hono mo a omo ewiase no omo produce sperm. Emma bi wo hono mo a omo nkwamo ano omo nkosua no so enye. Na senya be 2 months ago answer na ye ba be di bronya na ye last treatment bi a young lady 22 years eba say oba be donating nkosua no ama obi. Ye process no. Yes, stimulate your one injection scan ya de nyina no 22 years de ge ye say one man yen kra na nya nkosua edu a ahoden wo mu o ma yen 3 1 2 3 na 3 no so na mienu kra so po ahoden enim ba ko pe na ahoden ba ko so a na ahoden wo mu kakra no so a ye de sperm no gu so no ye nya fertilization ne tie ne say sa obey. Even though young, will still find it difficult, all things being equal, to achieve a pregnancy. Sa nipa we, ye ne den. Enti se e ba ne se, oje blood transfusion di, oje sa obi e de na odi ba omo. Odi obi moja, anya wo moja. Oji obi kidney a, anya wo kidney. Aye obi de. Sa aso na woje sperm no aba omo a. And also ayo obi dia moja eye dem ma dipedua no
Aboa ma system no working.
Aboa e ma system no working a chese e ma wo trase e ma wo kwa e na sperm ne su kosua no se e den
E ma wo
e den kwa ba
life.
And you know so e dem no say we can look at the implications, okay? I mean the implications of using a donor sperm to have a child, the implications of using donor egg to have a child and all that. We can talk about the implications. But the bottom line is, so utumeje obi moja gu ye modia. Then personally, you don't have a reason, or I don't see a reason why you should say that sperm donation or egg donation is a wrong thing. Yamba surrogacy.
Yeah.
Surrogacy, me hwehwe mu a me yes so chere say, if you want a typical example in the Bible, a man who kwanya say o Kristo no betumi aya na ne konna kohwe Yesu Kristo na wo no na ready. Yesu Kristo awo no ye mayete ho ase say obabu no bi ena honkronkron ekohye ne ma ode wo ye. The Bible is not so clear as to whether the egg of Mary was involved in the process. It was so clear. Say, yeah, you see Joseph's sperm. However you look at it, a typical case of surrogacy because Mary's womb was only used for the process of giving birth to Jesus Christ. Now, what do you see here? We can look at the divine, all the argument about the divine nature and then all that. But what did you know? A typical surrogacy. No one can say otherwise. Unless say we are Christian, we are Gideon, you don't want to be truthful to yourself. I believe strongly in what we are doing. Say it is not against my faith.
Now, Doc, I know why muna omoye qualified to do it.
Obi ohon man edi kan oba no unkosua no ahoden wo fam kakra. And you know, opese ye ma edro stimulate you na ye ma nkosua na hoɔden epeja obetumi ayɛ obi wana ne tube mo fallopian tubes ye mienu tube no ba ko asi baako no betumi anyim all right but you say we increase your chance of getting pregnant utumi ye IUI bema bi on mo ne nkwamwa no endu standard a oni obema obahia obenyim because obema woni obahia na ohusuo no sane a eye akwantu kese na ze sperm no etu ebefa oba no ase ye fe no vagina no afa service no mu awode na no akọ awode na nkasa mu akwa kodu fallopian to eye akwantu kese it is enkwamwa na hoɔden ennu baabi ase edu a sperm no nnu baabi a na kyese wapa aba ye fa say ovin cry na ekokumase a wanhwe a onnu nkokọ kra na kyese wawu nze ba ne sa no a IUI no ye boa sperm no ma watwa kwan no so it is ye pese sperm no fin cry ekwa akodu kumase ibetumi ekukuru sperm no akwa akodu baabi te say adwoso ama ahoɔden kakra ewo mu no ɔde akwa akodu kumase sa pepepe na tie ntino instead of said sperm ebefi vagina no mu a cervix no mu a uterus no mu a fallopian tube no mu ye betumi ekukuru no de atwa sa akonya akɔbɛn fallopian tube because a hormone fertilization no it take place say oba atu gosua ne kosua na ekɔ tube no mu ɛna saa na nkwamwa no so ekɔ oba no ano so kɔ tube no the fallopian tube no a factory point ndino ya boa ema sa the sperm na hoɔden ɛwɔ fam a any fem bebre because if it is below certain parameters so we IUI na enye then we'll be moving into either IVF and say XC sana you know unioma bebre e wo ho no mo a
does age matter age doesn't matter
yes in terms of IUI the age matters IUI no say oba no ni mu say ya mechire mu no wunyi nkosua ne ma abonten enti no wo hwe say oba no nkosua na hoden wo mu especially ehwema me ehu say oba bi anya 35 years kwa na nkosua no ahoden eba fa so metumi aka cha say dia a short while ago me 22 year lady bi dia ye mfa to say ene kura dia obehwe na 30 31 32 young women everybody no ye be your omo test na they have low reserve your friend AMH no very low and you say no say akwanya ba Ministry of Health in Ghana Health says on mama de ma ye nya hwehwemu ni emfa saa de yi eho ni hu ni enti a etisa enti ano no de say kosua na ho ade wo fam na oba no nso no wonfie no konkan a eya na IUI no ye recommend it unya 40 years ekwa ano say cry de na enye say obetu ho na ma yenka say obi wo ho no beka say oh me na cry 45 no no nkasa anye me fine e wo nanso apart from the fact say obanyem no eya na genetic defects abofra no wa hwe ya obewo no wedi dem psychologically and as physically na adwemu o how ni sa ne mani nyina wa hwe ya no wedi dem ti na ya na ye recommend say wonfie no konkan edu ba bi krampo dia na je say anya dia be highly impossible krampo say obetumi aye IUI no be kwan nkosua na sakra
any side effect of the IUI
well side effect no ensheda enye bibi huhu bia ebia obi krampo wo ne pane a aye ne ya obi wo no be ka say na ni su chin no obi wo no a I mean complaints kete so sha dia eye biania yehu a ebia ha adwen I know dey ekati across IUI IVF and surrogates ni friend no OHSS ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome ne chere say enoni ade a ye de ma ema no ya na ye hwe say omobeto nkosua no bebre say ye ma wondru a oba bia no cycle mu no woto nkosua baako eno na say wanyem a wa na fe no aba cycle aye moja na just say it goes that way no oba otwa no oba ovulate here na just say it's a cycle yeah treatment na say IUI IVF and I say X na you cannot rely on this one egg o hwe kwan say oba no e di nani beto saa nkosua ba akwan ya so esan say e betumi crampo aba say e ba akoyi follicle na saa nkosua na ye ka no na ebi nim okay ma menchi ma bo follicle no ma bo egg onipa mu no ye woni ye friend of follicle now follicle no to say nkosua ye di eni awodi wani hu no brown shell and as a egg shell nkosua wodi wani hu no say umbo nkosua say unhu ze yokuwo
ya
aha eno ne nipa nkosua no ankasa enti say ye treatment na ye ma wo endro say obenom anase ye be wo say de be ya obeto follicles no bebre with the hope say ye benya nkosua dodo de aye treatment because follicles ni bi wo hono ma oba akọbọ ahwehwe mu no na nkosua ni bi nim enye follicles ni in fact I mean about 50% of follicles don't contain eggs anyway enti no na eya na ye pese ye boawo ma sa ade we no e ba so nya follicles bebre say de be ya with the hope say obenya eggs no ne ade aye na numu no na say ya hwe yi a etumi emma edroso bebre ewo mu a na nsuo ni ade afra ni a ekobasa na afi ama wo ovaries no ne beto gosua no ahohon kakra na wenya ne fe no OHSS ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome however there's a way of controlling it bia no ya yetumi control ne onyem sisi a surrogate na onyem sisi a no that was one of the issues say or you very fertile na owonkosua pa nti ono ze ye treatment no injection ya wo no very minimal ketua bi kra na ye ya wanyem for nyame adom ode awo
ye hwe ene case no I buy I came to meet the newly born no for babies na e ba na saying na obi that case ni e buy mo afi obi na e wo so owoma omo a okunya 4 kids
okay Yohana yenya couple bi by mame mpayimu ne papa bia obubai omasem ne se mame no ayare no Osei ni yemoni ade moja etu no we ni ha ndi no okọ hospital no mo ye scan na je se onya fibroid no ese omukoyi fibroid ma no jeme ye kodu theater no na said their fibroid na edidi awodie no se omo anyi ane na awodie a obetumi mpo ahwe ne nkwa ndi ochese omo yi na awodie nyina beye emfie ensia atwamuni ndi ebasa oba wawodie no ne wo hwa ne se akola be kwa akotomu a wode be wo awodie fa so a wo so a wo dipedua no eno no ho ha ze awo enimu a awodie no eho hia ewo dipedua no enti said ye yi na awodie na se opekwan foforo a obefa so de benya eba ene se oni ne kumba ya omo ne yen ebeka ho asema ye tu sa anamoye ma me practice mo ade ba kwa ye ma wre ho pa ne se da ko bi menya ma me bia oba me nche na ose oye virgin 49 years old virgin eche ekra na say ya na say virgins ni ho ni ade no 49 years old virgin na oba me ho na ono so similar story oba na che say I say 2 years before obeba me ho no ono so ehun say or fibroid no say doctor anya say me worried ma worried na so me worry na me kunu abochire me so me Ghana I say be man yi beba I say me so me be ko I say obeba fie mienu ankosi aga na edi twa aware no ansa na me worry no na ma wiata so say me mma be ma bi fa ne ho enka me ti me trance be bu akopim say me hia me ku na ware nso anye yi ano so me yes say metna sia manyankopon kopim se mesan ware biom the 2 years answer no beba me hona a diagnosis of fibroid also jeme a year before she came to me oba me hona je say wakoye fibroid operation ema ye yi na wo de no. So the question is 49-year-old virgin, very staunch Christian, somebody who loves God so much. And any body be, and any form so be, and na amma washe na wodie. Should such a person be denied the opportunity, at least, to hold a child, because you say surrogacy, and yet, without faith? Well, for those of you who don't know, Nyamiadum Ghana yaje atum surrogacy is regulated at 1027. Registration of births and deaths at 2020. Ghana ayemra yaje atumwa yetumi aye surrogacy. You know, apart from say me angasa me share dwumedi ase na me hwe say nia me ye no anania me de me ho akwa shame no is in line with my faith. We also have a law backing it. Enti enye adeboni bia na ye obia wo ho akwanya se ye yiwa wo de ebetumi aba se oba bi krampo hu ne fe aso no oni a wo de so wan ko nipa no mu a
that's true. Enti doc, with this case no mobnya donor no
yeah
no on the ni egg and say on the a conceiving or hosting.
Wonderful. You know, couple buy and chance or more pair, you know, obi mana carry no money is swift. Apart from the year, my men are within a near fee. So, quite a younger, give it to me a use in Nicosia, probably at the year, near fee. Yet to me, you soon Nicosia, and necessary your pet donor. And a woman a hoodro me, surrogacy no more a hoodro me, ye war. Traditional surrogacy and on just say onipa obenyemono onu ankasa enkosia yetumi yusu say opene so nkwa dia na say most importantly onne ye ha no yenye bibia keke ha ansana ye beye edi amma wo no ye hwe say se wo yusu do na ega oba one wo se ana say you know some form of resemblance. Because we do not want to create a problem out of an existing one. Meaning, say, yeah, wow, ma unyamba now unshabo friend him and regret it. And yamiadum 12 to 14 years, sir, me share me ye, sir, edumain. Yan fa kolama obia ma on sign a cheap man and because I'm afraid ye mempe and I'm a comma and Tommy because we take our time to do the match. And Zenya surrogates Onwankasa aye say ye use ni nkosua na ya na empepi no so etumi fi onwankasa nya say ye na shop because amafo say IVF no very invasive say IVF be wo panie no mun sa ne mani nyina bebre ye the embryos no kra betu mu a ye opanie bi a obewo nti no sa ne mani nti omohwa omo say da bi wo de monya simple one mame monye IUI no mame because me pese meko through sa we no more you know that is traditional surrogacy no there oba no ankasa enkosua eye involved and na ye second type ye friend gestational surrogacy na no there ni obekare no oba na obanyem no eye different from ni ayede ne kosua na ebeye ebetumi amba se nkosua ayede be na ye near what be requested say or per surrogates no and through surrogacy arrangement
now what you carry
now what the other say obeji e dey akari ha obeji anyam meji say jama eno bi na equivalent to near Mary no or I cannot say because as I said earlier on it is not so clear say Mary's egg was involved so it could be both ways all right and the ebetumi efi obana amame na ope eho anase ebetumi efi oba foforo nchen other than near Obekaren,
okay.
and chain hand near gestational service. And on a dear, your quiet DNA or Abofran Hoa, you who surrogate no hohe, a war, Abofra, a beefy, a more abano.
So in today's case, which of the two types?
Traditional, because they're the surrogates and Ankasa and Kusia, and they are the intended father and sperm. There's a mameno, new coon and a sperm, and I had the year and ma or more.
And you know, all carry pregnancy for the period. How many months, no years and
Oh, yeah, Mofrano 36 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, again, it's a very good question. Yeah, a month for full say fertility treatment and pregnancies from fertility treatment, different. And yes, so be in fact, I'm so more almost say you no more. Emma a year sir, I told you be a at the hospital without any reason. Be on there's nothing wrong with you, but Pepper said over that hospital, and yet you say Sunkubia from near you say Yehuno. And you know, your treatment in we are Otimiko, Yamiad, your war, we are here for my baby, or more about a swear about your treatment here, or my name baby, or Marcasa, or my name baby, so as to say arrangement. Obi what the embryo so IVF now the two more, and I say even you are the two more. Within few hours or full plane to coin. So I'm not saying or call antenatal or baby or one. Had you know because say on some run and there be and yet you say strong kumbia at the corner. And the way no nanka expected date no ewe nimu kakra. And after so yakasa data ya share nke normally ya pese yes cesarean session as yes na ya pese yin say no inya 37 weeks. We no almost dozen, you know. Yeah, say, yeah, 36 weeks. They're approximately 36 weeks. And nay, when ya day, Yamia domoso, calling in a more day, come or I started cry ADD. Yama pediatrician, a review, Yina, or what ya po, come.
So I can say IUI, we are the pregnancy is not normal pregnancy, no.
Yeah.
But we say, does it come with any side effects for the kids? Maybe or probably the nine be saying the more the fingers no back why like those. Does it come with any issue with the baby?
All right. So again, is a good question, but the point is that medical will say IUI, IVF, fertility treatment, pregnancy, and yet different from other pregnancies. So it means that when no end negative and does not do away with that kind of abnormalities. Okay. So I say, obibe to me, any saying you can normal pregnancy, na obewo na abofra na edidemu a, and as when your issues are, sana through fertility treatment so ebe to me akoba say obi ebewo a na abofra na ewo issues because it doesn't change the genetic makeup of the baby. Okay. And yanti assessor say a bit to me aba say through fertility treatment po abofra bit to me edidem. Ade ba kwa me denya me assess say for 13 years ni we haven't recorded any. Nyame adom abofra bi eni ha no a ho a enam the Walking Egg Medical and Fertility Center so a we did them.
And what's the success rate for this facility when it comes to IUI?
IUI, Nyamia Dom say is amazing. General success rate for IVF is around 15%. It's a pa. But the one was say Walking Egg, IUI, one of our strongholds. Okay. You shared last year, this year, you buy first IUI case or Chinechi Thursday, and they shared last year. I can tell you that IUI year, more than 60% went through successfully.
Doc, we've also able to ask check contact now for the asylum questions of this case so Emra.
Okay. All right. The Walking Egg Medical and Fertility Center you Katapo Pukwasi Katapo area corner. Say ufi Pukwasi na oko second chance kwan so ana your friend pastor and as a prophet Adam Chedua ne kwan no so a your friend be area corner e ho ane wo Facebook ye ho social media ne nyina kwa ye numbers ni ade nyina eguso a obetumi afrɛ yen and I will send you messages so ye befa.
How you back after the break? Dr. Nanaya was to us media Zionfelix. I was here download Lemfi right now. Listen, is free abutre eba Ghana. Say bogus say what according to me na Lemfi and omo use omo Europe say Lemfi and a year omo America say Lemfi and a year omo UK and Canada the same and omo to say Lemfi. Obia see ye download it right now on Play Store or App Store. And don't forget say Ube use promo code Zionfelix because we know my agreement. So Ube use Zionfelix biano omo the cashback omo UK for £10 cashback omo America and Canada $20 cashback omo Europe €15 cashback for just using my name Zionfelix. Lemfi, as soon as you send it goes straight into the Momo or the bank account of the person that osanya komano and second put that crampono rafa na man let no say a drew and I say no ye Lemfi de obia jatum so download it right now on Play Store or App Store and don't forget to use the promo code Zionfelix for that huge cashback no. My name still remains Zionfelix. Me so ewo ha podcast katapo a doc edin komo the Working Egg Medical and Facility Center and me wo CCA. Na yes doc we fertility counselor because anyway we are any medical pit. We are afia ba honam dey. Now send obi ebe surrogate mo bia or carry obi pregnancy amount. I think with on there no you on the eggs.
Yes.
Meaning say you create DNA. Ebe che say no.
Yes.
Nti nipa na ono beje akra no.
Yeah.
Process be no obi go through for akra no be ono ne dia. Na eche bi lead ni meka say e me ma na ofa.
Okay. Nti no emra no emma ye ho kwan say ye will be a friend pre-birth order and a post-birth. Pre-birth they say nyi say no eba ya no within 12 weeks of pregnancy no over applied to the high court ma wabo mama ne say bibi say koso na ebasa omo ho say abofra no aye wodia enti no court ebe mawo sa document a utumi edisesa abofra ne din say abofra ne wo na utumi edisesa ana say mo amoye intended parents no modi mu din eto abofra no so mo antumi anye pre-birth order na mutumi ye post-birth order just ya wo abofra na ewie no mutumi eye eno so ma akola no be ye modia afebo se ukọ abroche baby no Europe and America ne sa eye na ya na omo ehwe kwan se ana mama the unborn children right have you have more right say in the future some person omo tracy their roots echo biological mother no ho omotumi ye Ghana afe na ye nyina no yegusu a ye toto samra no say ye toto emra complete emra efa assisted reproductive technology a won ho hye ni nyina ne surrogates ni nyina ye de ebeka ho so we no enye complete we ne ema ye ho kwan si yenye but ye ka surrogacy law ankasa na say some regulation afena yegusu a it yegusu a discuss as to whether we have to do that here but it's important and ba kwa me ko school me sua ya aboa me yie pa ne say ade bia no nia me ba be ye no you have to place learning in a socio-cultural context. Placing learning in a socio-cultural context is extremely important. What does it mean? Yehu say ebimo say omama right to the unborn children omo be tracy omo biological parent that the sperm donor means na saying a few years ago be ma bia we are saying or a sperm donor and kwala many children all we tracy na ma and kwala sam no bebre the offspring kwala through his donation omako sam no bebre. Is that what we want here in Ghana? What would be the impact? What would be the implication on the unborn children or the children that will come out? What will be the implication in various homes and then all that? And in a sense, in our socio-cultural context, how best and ebe boy and no mostly ye donors in anonymous nature say oba be donate ya and one no ohun na chi
as in the sperms and the egg, or
yes, sperms and egg ni nyina bia onipa oba be donate sperm oba be donate egg ni anonymous oba be donate because you ohun na chi kwan. But say the medical kind baby elsewhere, Europe and America, baby hono more, you cannot do it under anonymity. How would data ni bibia or hono more that Tracy
okay,
or Tracy what obetimi about Tracy.
Now dog when say in case I can in case we maybe occasionally can I go and visit my child or
no only baby.
So
when even adoption, adoption, what do you know? All the oba kwakoma adoption and also you too for and I do fancy you say say once you give your baby or child out for adoption, now you come randomly in a court science, you need right in BBM. You lose your right as a parent of the child.
Okay. Now dog, let me go back a little bit on surrogacy, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, they Bemano sperm. Akoye oban de wanyam no. In our society, most obanyam also uguguso. Enya married there, but okuta ba.
Me employ na be guguso na.
Me ti be guguso answer no dey.
Ube guguso ma.
Sai guguso enye bia myth bia wo ho.
Abrante bi by chance obey sperm donation na sperm donation no obey sperm na yo kwan hodro miensa obey ma obefa so eyi sperm no ebi ho no mo a wan kasa wo masturbation eyi ebi ho ha o partner boawo ma wo yi sperm na ebi also it may call through the testis and testicular biopsy ebi ho no na ye sperm no efi hwa no mo direct. Wa ba se oba be sperm donation you say nka sperm donation nyina ba amoye masturbation abranti ko share dem wan be 1 hour opie ba ya dog munya oba bia wa han mo ababo am na se jam wa dwenye adwuma ye mama wa ha ka ye tete agwa it is on me employ na be gugu so mo me
enyem sperm ni bona e gugu so ka afom akra ni yi na
okay ti ano so ye ade a I am myth. I mean, my age may check. You surrogates bebre obeying who so. In fact, you keep surrogates, no. Said the bear one can sample unko yes, as I say. One way now, yes, no scrampo no a beam of one it me and my niece and say, no, a car, nipa boy, goodness, and money in I aqua. And you know, you make it sure, say, or more enquiries, and you were very beautiful home. Ya di ama omo a ya pekitra or ye duane kama di mama no pa ewia enwere anajo embo obi mu ho no mo didi 4 times ebi mo didi 5 times cause nyi sen obi ho a odidi na bi ho
at the cost of the personal background.
Yes. Okay. Ntino ye akoye intermediary. Okay. So hospital no ntino between mie no na just ye share abofra no kama ye share surrogate no kan me adom ye surrogate no so ya niku omo ho ezan se omo ayese omo boa obi a opeba ntino ye wo very good facility dan kama ni ade a omo activity eduane duro bi a obedi de bia me catch omo se eduane bi a obedi no ka ebe se obedi nko ade a because enuanti oye dan ya de bia ya me catch me staff so onipa oye dan ya she can consume the entire working egg with whatever she will eat. In the adentina, Yansha say, obedidi kama na ma abufrana or a sheniyam, and as a barber one or so, enya ahwadin, the show kama.
Doc, when you're a counselor, let's look at the psychological effect, the physical effect of this issue. Now, if you for who's a manyam, area mantum for who's a manyam. Now, I mean the surrogates. Now, after 9 months, me say me kwa was sober. me koya me baya nkra no ya nkra nkutame me so ma ko e ma no so omo ya me kan so mo nkra no so wo hia ya twen nkra ya ma such cases no me kofia how do I tell my people say this is the case me ko woman
yeah. Well, that's also an important question. Let's start with the surrogate themselves. In fact, an emotional issue. I mean, so Bano, there have been several cases. Yeah, you use surrogate in the egg. Now, so you use intended mother and egg, and the intended father and sperm. Also, surrogate number one, no, emotionally attached to the baby. OG abofrano cry and I say, "Ogoyi abofrano," and I say, "Obey." Any better say, "CSR." When you better na abofrano ni ho. Na fe ne re ahon ho na we so say oba anyem nyinse na any ho edin kakra and you was psychological here do fam to see I do be fam nipa ne ba near dia prepare and sana ya start process no cra and na o so and it ni sa hontin ye ma onko fie entem ye surrogate ye ma wonya honti ase se ye beja okwan 1 month after delivery ye hwe se your state of mind, your emotional state, psychological well-being, physical being, they are all intact and sound age are quite and my obiati as so come. So you better cost review even when it is through SVD nature say obana kasawo spontaneous vaginal delivery so obana kasawo so okra na wo yo say CSO you beja okwan 1 month after delivery I say who action come why you strong and fit now every part of your system and sound age okwan concerning significant others in your life say there or obewo na obekofie na omukuta abofra bia mtino nya ne say ye no obase oba be surrogate esa say yakse wo ye home ntino ye ni problems ye be hwe right from the beginning say e be positive say nye negative oba ya ma ho ti ase say okọ home ho we started treatment no ye treatment no na say e positive wa na che say wakoso atena ho akopem so but you know ne de you are not exposed to the outside world. Yeah. Copy so but what after 1 month you show ho achen kama coffee obia ehu echire. Okay. Entino omo etia but you be no ho no you awarefo bi a eba nkasa so be ye bi. That is surrogate. O mangasa oba awarefo na ne kun nyina agya tum say the year emeye surrogate ema ebi mu ba. Wow. Ebe ye. General sign is answer what warranty na no ne exceptional wo mo say ye ma ho kwan say woni okun abetena efie kopem say obawo na of course and then they say wa ware woni okun na ti then they wa kwa wo so na say and then most importantly all the surrogates any surrogate must have at least had one child and son of baba onwo ya yen you say we a surrogate. So you must have had at least one child. Why? And son. Why? Because we want to know your pregnancy history. Okay. So or baby nyemwa ehu. And two, my can't wait, but let's say awo at the insembe breba. I mean, yes, awo betumi ama oba wahwe wawo de so ndi se oba be surrogate oba bu obi manawo na wankasa wonni bi na ekoba se wakwa akọwo na wahwe wawo de na chese ya moa o wankasa so wa moa wo ho etina eya na ye pese wo de dada wankasa at least wo ba ko bi de but ye de nyamiase so se 13 years ni a me yes a adwuman surrogate bia ehwe ne kwa obi aso so ehwe. Now,
Doc, Yamra, the case of this quadruplets, now the intended parents nearby, you see, you pay a Navia, you're not a crowd for. Yes, we have to who say, I know kids, I'm just citing example.
Oh, yeah, be a very challenging moment. But quite in your idea, where the Yamiadum, they are okay financially, but back one, na na make kan ebra onyem ye no nanka yehu se yes kan yehu se omo ye nan no na akwanya wo ho se enka ye be ye ne frɛ no fetal reduction na je se ye beti so ha se bia kwala nan no ye be yi ba ko afim ne eja miensa anase be yi mienu afim ne eja mienu enti ye ne surrogates no ye di kan intended mother na di ho komo no mo se omo ni problem se surrogates no betumi akare nko adia na any surrogate no enso so edi ho komo a ono so se obe try so obe carry adie ba ko na personally na medin kakra to go on with the fetal reduction my own conviction my faith say whatever it is say wo koye fetal reduction na say kwala enan wo yi ba ko afimu a say wo ye dey wa abortion wo ku ba abofra no ha ndi eno di na medin say ebe ma ya ye fetal reduction no ene say ya anya nyame adom soso no wo di adwempa aye bibia yakopon so tozu peguso kwala e ba yi obia with very good health, very good weight. Sisi amene ka say obia didima pediatrician nurse no ye ma omo aduro ba ko no ano no enne kwa libetumi de nkwala na koma omo awofo na ye yi yensa afio.
Doc, let's take a situation by okay, we've all agreed say okay, maybe a surrogate man and come to carry the case for you.
Yeah.
I've been you we are never hear kwam me pema de. Ebe any day.
Esida ebetumi esi esida yenye bi but nya cases bia yati from other center in Ghana. Woman bi koho. So or koho so koye surrogate. Na omoye procedure na wie ya onyem ya. Afei akwa nim kakra du be bosome nan no. Omohu ma me ne bio. Omo hwehwe na omo no frɛ no mfa ne ade nti omo start say omo ye hwehwe mu ho no mko hu say say ma me na nkasa hia ba ɛna ɔde ne ho kɔ say o koye surrogate ɛna omo ye ma no I fire just say trom okwadu no ɔkɔ no ɛna saa de we nso no yes emra wo ho ne saa ne ma we nyina but wokɔ take legal action o hwɛ nneɛma bebree you know and what they aye nti no eba sa na che say unhuni a wonye nti no esi even though say the working egg medical and fertility you record be that but ade esi especially abroche ni ade etumi si pass say obeye ama obi no aka say o kipu abofra no
mene doc na edin komo doctor Nanaya Osei wa cheche no merebe nti say awone de obaha nyame adom ometimi aboa ama wetimi enya bi se one awe obe kora no anase obi ena be kora no nyina no akwane de 9 months ne de obenya bi na doc obi sin busa se surrogate no financial benefit bi wo ho.
Oh yes, I mean say nyo oye hwehwema de ne pepa ne sakwa ha nti no untumi emma meye we the Working Egg Medical Center your philosophy and say ye de boa obia opeba nti no ye bomo ho den say ye rate across board IUI IVF ni X ni nyina no e wo fam ha nti no enya de a ye charge intended parents no bebre however e ba no rates are editor your donors and surrogates that we try as much as possible say ebetia market rate no amount you know we pay around approximately $5,000
for the surrogate no.
Yes,
for the whole period of 9 months no.
Apart from the that is the take home or the echo but ye be ya ne be hwe no onyuso ne hwe ne ntariam ne ye obehye ne saa ne mani nyina and surrogacy na nkasa no ye charge fee be $28,000 echo now and it's out of this and otua obanisa now mind you say IVF ni IUI ni nyina so etumi ehyem ho ha this say one cycle of the IVF na failure well lose I mean IVF one cycle averagely is around $4,000 and this 2 cycles na surrogate na anyemo a you are talking about $8,000 gone. And you know, a cost involved. Here, ye, Nase, oh, yeah, 4 cycles, each one is scanning in ano, with the aqua treatment and oh, baby, surrogates, you know, $60,000, $100,000. Yeah, this is especially abrochini na sefo no ha Ghana had the obenya averagely $35,000 near dear but I mean we try as much as possible to be reasonable and buy your rates and in fact the say the most reasonable in terms of price Ghana all the time.
So if the surrogate is taking 5,000 maybe at Zionfelix, if I walk in say me donate sperm. Yeah, here's a price. Oh, oh,
when you're here, oh, now sperm on the ocean, but
sometimes me bold you. Obedient you. Maybe the whole thing. And I'm but you be bold dog.
Sperm donors, no, the end chakra. In fact, egg donors in moment the end I was struck because sperm donors, no. Average rates in Ghana about 1,000, 1,500. Me who say
cities or dollars?
Cities. Last year, me who say blogger view control will be 2,500 or G2,500 cities every week, which is not true. I'm saying it is not true because the kind of say sperm donation ain't your common.
Okay.
Number 2, there is a treatment for sperm issues. And only it's in my boss. So, the Bema sperm no fem said then cry. There's a treatment for it. ICSI. I just said Bema only sperm. Say ye semen na ye sperm womb. Azospermia. Na no crampo no yetumi kohwa no mu. Ekwohwe say sperm ewo mu. And you know, ansana ye be obi be ma be na adwe say oje sperm donation na isa betumi akan the number of sperm donation here last year
I say oba only be ma or sperms
betumi aye the kakra bi na mo me ba egg donation no mo na draw so because medical chim say oba nya 35 years e kwa na nkosua na ho ade ne ba fam na ye haye so no your culture no so training am so ba onware ya empempi no onwo na oba no so twen se be ma ba be ware wasan no wawo na ni nyina no ma wawo no e kachi enti de ma do na epem mani bebre no enioma mienu na di mu akotren pa tuber blockage and na face so the need for egg donation. Nti ma egg donation was strong. Ne to so biem. Egg donation no processes I di omo fam no ano odin. Ansan ye yinkosia ne di kan. Oba won panier continuously for 10 to 14 days. Obi de akra to me bro so sa. Nti oba wo panier ene oba wo ochena oba wo ade chia oba wo na ye twa scan. No asan traso awa edu baabi. Ansana ye hu se Felix na mature ya de na akọ theater akọji efinase so tie anye ya said America no onya OHSS ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome no so no ehon sem bebre nti no omo bre o jam de o de oba no ase watwetwe ho a we sperm no de amaya na o baby
the dog egg for the best
around 6,000 cities.
Okay, yeah, let's go. The dog last question before we go. You are a staunch Christian, you're also a health practitioner. And about health, at times people want to use religion to override it. Now, as you just mentioned, from 35 going as Oba, I won't be best at and this is a situation whereby in the community, in the religion, warrior. I'm 29 years old. I'm 30, 32, 33, getting to 35. Oba be worrying me. Dog. Should I get a guy for us to give birth or still now? I mean, can my woman worry me as I'm this is religion and medical issue.
The simple answer is use your brain. You see, Zion, the beer me come as some say me nanaya or say man ko heaven religiously the be obey me as you are be ko heaven.
Don't try.
No, I'm telling you. With all my weakness as a human being, say me man ko heaven. Nobody in this world will go to heaven. So I said, me yem asom nyameni ma sorry from the age of 7 up to this day. Nidi kano. Number 2, nyame ebue ma adwemu ma ko school edu echire. Number 3, I have traveled across the world. Min ko be bia de. See, when you combine these things as a Christian, it should make you a better person than obia onim one way. And so unfortunately, yeah, na ye go for no bebre o ho no mo a ne ya ka kire mo na no mo. Nti e din say wo kire no kwampa no po no obeti ase. Me ka say man ko heaven na obi anko because me nim painful asori ekuku dam ne hwanhwan vunya nante a bepe bene. Me nim kofo so ban. And I miss I have my weakness, as I said, as a human being. But my core heaven now. See, religion, na what do you hold God as if say human beings shouldn't have brains to think. It is so pathetic. So the part does any a Christian or a Muslim or a you shouldn't think.
You should.
Shouldn't you think? And you know, and they ama nkofo esom interest a what religion kofem because one of the key reasons is that their questions are not being answered. Could be some question here, but I just say you need the Holy Spirit to understand. Somebody like me, who has served God, read wide, the Bible, both the Bible, and then secular. I need something else to explain to me. Please, use your brain.
Pastor, question I say is why say Christosome say worry men now I'm 37 you call now what to say after 35 work on our home bedding. Now wo ni no doc say use your brain. Doc but you check you.
The Organic Medical and Fertility Center, you will Pokuase Katapo. Second chance, Kwana, so you're been Prophet Adumiche Bia, now sorry. We also call second chance, we do Katapo area corner. Now, say a hospital for Frona, Yadoweba. You see, ultra modern first class fertility center, our Ghana, and you are really cry. What therefore, any back now could you want and say, need him say. Nyakopon a otonsa efreye no obenam yeso aboa ma wonso so wanya oba.
Thank you very much for watching. Braha na Nyakopon emboa na oso nya aba. Really can me admo hanka tag am de be ma omo say everybody needs a child because uti ncheche mo de mana there are so many processes and no matter what your problem is ne there obetimi aboa ama wonso so wanya akra wo fi amanesu. Media Zionfelix, thank you very much for watching. Billy and Thomas were behind the machines for us. Bye-bye.